Perks of Being a Wallflower. Perks of Being a Wallflower is a book I came across in 2012. I was visiting my sister who lived in Holland at the time. At the airport on my way home, I decided to check out the bookstore to see if I could find anything to read on my way home, and there it was. I remember reading the synopsis on the backside and I was immediately sold. To make a long story short, the book was mine and I did sure not regret it on my way home. Some days later I had finished it. An amazing book. The Perks of Being a Wallflower is a book which was first published in 1999, written by the author Stephen Chbosky. He began writing the book in 1994 when he was still in university, so it took him 5 years to finish it. The book became an instant hit. In the early 2000s, the book had already sold over 100,000 copies in the US. The book is a fiction, although Chbosky bases a lot of things in the book from his own past, though he never mentions which ones. The story happens early in the 90s and it takes place somewhere near Pittsburgh, in the US. Charlie, the main protagonist, is a young boy with some mental issues caused by his troubled past. Having lost his best and only friend Michael, who committed suicide a year earlier, and also his favorite aunt Helen. The story begins right before his first year of high school. Charlie is a shy introvert. On his first day, he befriends his English teacher, Mr. Anderson, and they form a really good relationship through the book. Mr. Anderson was probably my favorite character in the whole story. Later, he meets the siblings Sam and Patrick, who are seniors at his high school. They become friends and they invite him to a party where he meets their friends. He falls in love for Sam, but she's already in a relationship. So, later he starts dating her friend, Mary Elizabeth. From that point on in the story, things go from bad to worse. Charlie gets introduced to alcohol, smoking and drugs. From there, he starts to lose control of his life. His past traumatic experience haunts him even more, and shortly after Christmas, it all falls apart for him. He has a mental breakdown and is found in the snow in kind of a frozen state. Later, he wakes up at the hospital. There do things really start to make sense as Charlie opens up about things that may be the reason why he is the way he is. In the end, with the help of his doctor, Charlie starts working on his problems and making peace with the past. In 2012, the book really rose to fame after a movie directed by the author himself came out. Star-studded cast including Paul Rudd, mostly known for his comedic roles, played Mr. Anderson, and Emma Watson, known for a role as Hermione Granger in Harry Potter, played Sam. Shortly after the movie got released, the book reached the New York Times bestsellers list. After the book's release, The Perks of Being a Wallflower immediately caught the eyes of teachers throughout the country, so they started teaching it. However, some parents did not take well to it being taught to their kids, due to it involving sex, alcohol, drugs, and sexuality. The reason was that these things are not supposed to be taught to kids. Nowadays, the book is banned in some states in the US, not allowed to be taught at schools. Despite that, it's still one of the most popular books in the US, and I can easily understand why. And I recommend it to everyone that hasn't read it. Read it and you won't regret it.